welcome in. Happy Ostara, everyone. Welcome in. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone enjoyed Ostara 2 days ago. Hey Janine, welcome. Good to see you guys again. It's raining again. Again! Last week, while we streamed, it was raining. And this week, while we stream, it is raining. It's crazy. I don't know where I live anymore. It's not Los Angeles, I can tell you that. Rained all day yesterday. It's gonna rain all day today. So it's crazy. So I'm feeling the Ostara vibes. I'm feeling the spring equinox vibes for sure. Good to see you all. Fun to see familiar names in the chat. I've got a tea. It's in my Bellatrix Lestrange mug. She killed Sirius Black, and we will never forgive her for that. But she is really cool. And for that, we worship her. So for anybody that's new, coming into the study hall, this first hour or so is open office hours. So that's where I'm here to answer any questions that you have. Questions about spirituality, questions about anything having to do with paganism, Wicca, witchcraft, just questions in general. And I've answered questions about me personally before in these streams too, so those are acceptable also. But yeah, you can also during this time just chat about what's going on with you, if you have something going on in your practice that you want to share. And we just had Ostara, so if anybody wants to share how their Ostara was in the chat, that's good too. Love to hear it, how you celebrated and how the day was for you. It was also just, yesterday was the dark moon, the new moon. So, fellow Hecate followers, Depnon yesterday, or today, you can do it today too. But yeah, so feel free to share anything that's going on with you, ask a question that you want me to talk about. I'll answer any question as long as I feel capable of answering it. Yeah, so welcome, welcome. It's good to be here. My tea is still way too hot. And I'm trying some new stream settings. So we're gonna see how we fare today. Because if you've been hanging out with me in these streams, you know the last couple weeks, we've crashed. Like 2 hours in, for some reason, it just craps out. But we're trying some new stuff, so hopefully today is the day. Yeah, the music choices? Oh, I'm glad, yeah. I've been on the hunt for lo-fi that's no copyright, but also is good. So, I'm glad I'm achieving that goal. Oh, also, I'm so sorry that last night we didn't start our gaming streams. I'm having to rethink our schedule for that. Our Wednesday streams, this stream is gonna stay the same, but I'm trying to figure out which evenings would be best for gaming streams for me. We were gonna do Tuesday evenings, but that looks like it's not gonna be able to be a sustainable thing because the golf group I'm a part of, they have meetups a lot on Tuesday evenings, so probably gonna pick a new evening so I can still go golfing. Oh my god, you're so right, Court Sing. Lo-fi can be bad. That's for sure. Hi, Leah. Welcome. Good to see you again. And speaking of Ostara, this Friday, for all my Southern California residents, this Friday I'm throwing another ecstatic dance, Dance of the Dandelion. We're having another dance on Friday at 6:45, same location in Pasadena, California. And the theme is going to be the spring equinox, and specifically rain. Because we're getting so much rain here in Los Angeles, I figured let's embrace that rain energy. Let's embrace that cleansing rain, and let's dance with it. So that's what we're going to be doing. If you're interested in coming to that, the tickets are on priestessdandelion.com. The link is on my Instagram. Sure. Also, the Dandelion Spiritual Academy Instagram has the link. But yeah, so that's very fun. Hope to see some people there. It's fun. We're already building up the events. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the stream. And remember, guys, you can send questions at any point. Questions about anything at all. Pop them in the chat. But yeah, it's fun. This is our second ecstatic dance that I'm running here in Los Angeles, and already the community is growing. Already, it's very exciting to see. It's very fun. Yeah, and the tea I have today is just a tea bag. It's not a loose leaf, but the tea I have here is, what was it called? I can't remember what it's called, but it's a blend of herbs that's all respiratory health support. So that's what I'm having. Oh, and it's one of those ones, it's one of those yogi teas that has a little message on the thing, so I'm gonna read it. Your strength is shared when you are present for others. How funny and perfect for our stream. So we'll do office hours, Q&A time, chatty time, until we hit about an hour into the stream. And then we'll shift over to open study hall, open work hours. How was my Depnon? It was good. And you know, speaking of Depnon, it was something interesting happened. So this was last night, because last night was the new moon or dark moon, however you like to refer to it. So last night I performed Depnon at my altar. I originally was planning on going out, hiking the little bit, basically going to the same trail, the same location that is featured in the Depnon vlog that I did, I think years ago now, maybe at least a year ago. I don't know how long it's been, but that Depnon vlog that I made, I was gonna go to that location because I hadn't gone to that location in a while, because the Depnon before this one, I was out of town, I was in Florida, so I didn't do anything very special for Depnon because I wasn't at my normal space. I didn't have my altar and my Hecate altar. I didn't have the location I normally go to that has a three-way crossroads. So, and I felt like Hecate since then has been kind of not so gently letting me know, but not super harshly either, letting me know that she's a little bit irritated with me, just because that Depnon I didn't do it as, I usually make it very special, and I didn't really make it very special at all. So I was like, okay, I hear you loud and clear, Hecate. I'm sorry. I will make this Depnon that happened last night special. I will make it special for you. So I was planning on going out to that hiking spot and leaving the offering outside in nature, but it was pouring, like all day, pouring, and really windy, and even in the evening we actually had a tornado warning. Like it was crazy, it was weird. So, and some lightning struck in a couple different places. So I was like, okay, probably shouldn't go on a little hike right now. So I'll do Depnon at my altar. So I decided to do it at my altar last night. I did everything I normally do. You know, I made it nice. I laid the offering out on my altar, said a little prayer, played her some music, and then I left the offering, and because it was at my altar, I've talked about this before, but you know, when you perform Depnon, you lay the offering and then you have to turn around and leave and not look back. And when you do it in your own home, especially if you're like me and your altar's in your bedroom, you know, it can be hard to just walk away and not come back because that's your bedroom, that's where you sleep. So I usually do, and this is where I've said this before when people ask, I usually lay the offering out and then I leave the room, do all my bedtime bathroom stuff, like take a shower, wash my face, brush my teeth, all that stuff, and then I go back into my bedroom, having given her like a good 15-20 minutes to have the room and the altar to herself and the offering to herself. But when I go back in the room, I make it I make a very conscious choice to not look directly at the altar for the rest of the night, out of respect. So that's what I do. So that's what I did last night. And I told her when I laid the offering out and said a prayer to her and invited her to come take the offering, I told her after I shower and do all my bedtime stuff, I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to work on the set for this coming ecstatic dance that I'm holding this Friday. So I told her that artistic pursuit is going to also be offering to you. As I work on that playlist and that set, it's for you. So that's what happened. And then so I took my shower, I did all that, I went back in my room and started doing what I told her I would do, working on the ecstatic dance set for this Friday's event. And as I was doing that, suddenly a bunch of ticket sales, like 3 ticket sales, bing, bang, boom, one right after another. So that was really cool to have Hecate be like, thank you, you're finally paying me proper attention. I will reward you with some ticket sales to your event. So that was really cool. But so my Depnon was good. I haven't moved the offering yet from my altar, but I'm going to do that probably after this. I'll put it outside. I'll transport it from the altar and put it outside. Other than Depnon, do you have any recurring practices with gods or goddesses? Yeah, for sure, definitely. Let me think. So, yeah, on the dark moon and the /new moon, whatever you like to call it, I also honor Lilith. So I always do Depnon on the dark moon for Hecate, and then I also usually will light my candle to Lilith and say a prayer to her. Sometimes I'll do a little something for her. A lot of different kinds of things. Yeah, and I talk a bit about different things you can do with Lilith in my Lilith video. But yeah, every dark moon I also honor Lilith. And like I said, I don't have one specific ceremony that I do with her every dark moon. I do different things with her depending on what's going on. But usually the things I do with her have to do with my femininity and my female power, my womanly power, and anything having to do with that. And then, let's see, what else do I do consistently? Aphrodite, I pretty consistently honor her, not on any specific day or cycle, like phase of the moon, but just pretty consistently, usually at least once a week, I will light all the candles on my Aphrodite altar and burn an incense for her, and do all my self-care while she's present, while her altar is lit and beautiful. So I also have that I do at least once a week. Whatever day I'm feeling like I have a little bit of extra time in the evening to really focus on that self-care and soak that all in and invite Aphrodite to be a part of it. And then, let's see, I'm going through each. Yeah, I work with Sekhmet. I don't do a specific thing with her on a specific day, but I do work with her very consistently in my Reiki practice, when I'm doing Reiki for other people and when I'm performing Reiki on myself. So she's a pretty consistent presence for me. I will call her into the space and light the candle I have on her altar anytime I'm performing Reiki in any way. And when I'm away from my altar and I'm performing Reiki, I still call on her. I just don't have the altar to light the candle, but it's just as effective just to call on her. Who else? Let's see. Oh, Hercules. he very strongly has become my, how to put it? He loves exercise. He loves building strength. He loves pushing boundaries, pushing limits. And with my exercise and fitness and all of that, that's always been something that I really love and really enjoy. And he's been very present for that for me. So a lot of the time when I'm exercising, and I want to quit or I want to give up, I will genuinely feel his presence with me and his strength with me. And he pushes me to keep going. And I use my workouts as offering to Hercules. So that's an almost daily occurrence. Anytime I exercise, I'm including Hercules in that practice because he told me I want to be a part of this. Who else? Yeah, and then my main patron goddess and god are Bastet and Anubis, and they both are just kind of permanently day-to-day present. I don't necessarily, I still do specific things with each of them, but they're every day, present every single day. I feel all my deities and energy beings that I work with very strongly being present with me all the time. But I feel Bastet and Anubis with me the most strongly 24/7. So I don't necessarily, I still do specific things with them. Like I do a lot of protection work with Bastet anytime I'm needing a little bit of protection, a little bit of extra protection. And then anything having to do with my cats, I work with Bastet with that. Same with Sekhmet. She also does cat-related things with me. And then Anubis, any kind of death work I do, Anubis, I work with him a lot with that. I have the hospice patient I'm currently working with, I see her once a week. So that's once a week that I'm specifically working with Anubis. So again, that's not a phase of the moon or a specific day of the year or the month, but it is something that I do every week. And then, who am I forgetting? Oh, Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene is definitely incredibly present for me every single day. But when I study, I feel Mary Magdalene with me the most when I do any kind of spiritual study. So a lot of the time, especially in the evening, I'll be doing some reading or some journaling at my altar, and I am including Mary Magdalene in that practice. Who else? Oh, and then Thoth. When I work on teaching, that's when Thoth is most present for me. So that's very sporadic also. That's not a consistent same time. But yeah, anytime I work on like the curriculum for a class, or I'm prepping to teach a class or anything like that, or working with students after a class, sending emails to students, or continuing to support students and talk to students, then Thoth is very present then as well. Yeah, I think that's all of them. Yeah, and then I have a couple altars that are more so just for honoring the deity, and I don't necessarily work with them. Like, I do have a space for Krishna, but I'm not Hindu, so I don't really, like, work with Krishna. It's more so just appreciation of Krishna, because I think I've talked about this in a video, maybe one of my altar cleaning videos, but I first came into contact spiritually and energetically with Krishna, and physically on earth with Krishna, through my Reiki study. My Reiki master took me, where she teaches her Reiki classes out of is a Krishna temple here in Los Angeles, because she's Hindu. So my Reiki master is Hindu, and that's how I came into contact with Krishna and the concept of Krishna and started to learn. So yeah, I have an altar to Krishna, but I don't necessarily work with him doing certain things. I think that's everybody. Is that everybody? Also, just because I'm thinking about deities now, I've been researching Medusa a lot more since last week. Last week when I had a cat hair in my mouth. I just found a cat hair in my mouth. But I've been researching Medusa since we were talking about Medusa last week. So the next deity spotlights, my channel members, my beautiful channel members, if any of you are here, shout out to you. They vote on what the next deity spotlight is. So the next deity they chose in our most recent poll is Freya. So that's the deity that's going to be the next spotlight, is going to be Freya. And then after that might be Medusa, but we'll have to see what the members choose. But Medusa will be coming up no matter what. But the next one will be Freya. Hi, Chris. It's always nice to see another person working with multiple deities, for sure. Good to have that in common. I had to get rid of my tea bag. She's getting a little oversteeped. Okay, guys, we're about half hour in. So remember, you can keep asking questions. We're going to keep doing questions until about an hour into the stream. When you do an altar to honor a deity, do you do offerings? I mean, I would argue that an altar in and of itself is an offering, because you're putting the time and effort and the physical objects into creating a sacred space where you honor that specific being. So I feel like that on its own is offering, because you had to put effort into it, you had to put thought into it, you had to put love into it, you had to have the desire to do it, and then you went out and found the objects or created the objects and did it all with the intention of honoring this energy being created, creating sacred space for that being. So I feel like that's offering on its own. But beyond that, I think it's up to you. Hi, welcome in. But it's up to you. I feel like it depends what's going on. So speaking specifically about Krishna as an example, I don't give him offering much, but I do give him offering every once in a while, at least twice a month, I would say, probably on average. And what that usually looks like, because I came to know Krishna through my Reiki studies, a lot of the time when anything specifically Reiki related happens in my life, I'll give Krishna a little something. Or another way that Krishna came through and continues to come through very strongly for me is when I'm doing anything ecstatic dance related. When I first started studying ecstatic dance, because I'm a certified ecstatic dance facilitator, ecstatic dance teacher, when I first started those classes, the teacher led us through a visualization exercise during an ecstatic dance where we had to, that's the best chant. I love the Krishna chant. Thank you for popping that in the chat. I love that. But we got led through this visualization at the beginning of the ecstatic dance where we had to picture ourselves in a space and picture a being in the space who is a safe being that we feel comfortable with, who will hold space for us and lead us through the dance energetically. And I didn't know who was going to come up. I just was like open to whatever was going to happen. And the first immediate being that came through was Krishna. So a lot of the time now with my ecstatic dance work, I'm honoring Krishna through that ecstatic dance work, just because he always very strongly comes through when I'm doing any kind of ecstatic dance practice. He just loves it. That's just exactly Krishna. So with I just held my first ecstatic dance last week, and now our second one is this Friday. And that first ecstatic dance, something that I did for the dancers was I got a bouquet of flowers and I trimmed them down before the dance. And as everyone was leaving, I as everyone was leaving, I had them take a flower. So everybody got to leave with a flower from the dance so they could remember the dance and how it went for them and all of that. So sorry guys, we had a little bit of a glitch. So after that dance, I gave some of those flowers that were left over to Krishna. So that's another offering type way that you can honor a deity. Oh yeah, Chris, that's definitely happened for me. Definitely. No, that's a very common experience, Chris. Definitely not anything to feel weird about. I've had that happen to me a lot, where a deity will just kind of be a gateway to another deity for you. That's definitely a very common occurrence for people. And Hecate, you know, she's the liminal space gal. She's that goddess that can travel between realms and between phases and between all these things. She can move through that shadow, that in-between space. So it makes perfect sense that Hecate would be the one guiding you to another deity, because she's the torchbearer. She's the one who leads you through the darkness. So she was illuminating your path to take you to where you needed to go. And then she was like, my work here's done, bye. Oh, that's beautiful, Chris. I love that. Yeah, Lilith can be daunting, so that's really beautiful that Hecate kind of eased you into that. Especially with their relationship with each other, Hecate and Lilith. I feel they have a very strong connection. We've talked about that a lot on these streams, all of us in the chat. But yeah, so that's beautiful. I love to hear that, Chris. That's great. I'm glad you were able to find your way to Lilith in a way that feels more comfortable and natural. But yeah, that's great. I've definitely had that where a deity's just kind of like, hey, go over there. And then they're like, okay, bye. I've actually also had deities, as I've started teaching more and more, I have deities come through, just deities that my students work with, that I don't work with, just come through for me just to say, hey, thanks for helping my gal so-and-so, whatever student it was. And then they're like, bye. So it's really cute. Yeah, I had this one experience where Odin, which is a deity that I do not work with at all. I've never worked with Odin. I know the very bare minimum about Odin. But one of my students works very strongly with Odin. They're kind of her patron god. And one day after a study session with this student, I was just going about my day. I think I was actually, I remember what I was doing. It was later in the evening and I was playing Dead by Daylight on my Xbox. And one of the people I was playing with, their username was Odin. Like literally just directly Odin. Like what are the chances of that? And so yeah, I had a couple experiences with Odin where he would just come through in that way, just to be like, I see you, I appreciate you. I'm not here for you, but I just wanted to say thanks. So yeah, that's really cool. Deities will just come through to give you a little message and then they'll pop out. Yeah, I agree, Chris. I think Lilith and Hecate have a very strong relationship and connection. Oh, that's great. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, that little bit of acknowledgement from a deity, just to say, hey, I see what you're doing and I appreciate you bringing my followers to me. You know, I've talked about before on my channel, I feel like a lot of my purpose with being open with my practice on the internet is to help people find their path, no matter how different it is to mine or similar it is to mine. And that's like, you know, with the deity spotlights, I'm trying to help people find the deities that they resonate with, and the deities that feel good to them, and the deities that are waiting for them to see them and notice them and start working with them. So yeah, I love doing that. And it's always nice to get some acknowledgement from deities, like, we see what you did there. We appreciate that you're putting this work in and helping people find us and feel comfortable with us. So it's always nice to get that reassurance. Okay, 40 minutes in, just about. So we have about 20 more minutes of questions and chatting. So if there's anything you want to say, any questions you want me to answer, any topics you want me to discuss, pop them in. Oh, and remember our little stream cat? Our stream cat's name is Hexa, Hexe, and she will do little things if you interact with the channel, like become a member, send a super chat, hit subscribe, you know. Again, an hour-long stream of me dancing to lo-fi. Normal stuff. Normal stuff. Oh, it's so hard in the morning here in Los Angeles right now when it's so rainy and you have to get up and it's completely dark outside. I'm not used to that. I haven't had that since I was a kid, and I didn't live in Los Angeles. But it's so dark and it's raining like crazy. There's a window right behind you guys. Right behind where the camera is a window. I wonder how long it's going to take for me to spill something on myself during the stream, because I keep almost doing it. Last week I almost did it. Just now I almost did it. And everyone who knows me knows that I am constantly spilling things on myself, so we'll see how many streams we get in before I finally spill something on myself. Place your bets now. Do we have any other things we need to discuss? Oh, congratulations! Congratulations on your acceptance. We're happy for you. Snaps and claps for your success. Congrats, enjoy it. I hope it's everything you want it to be and more. Oh, Sweden. I made a friend in Costa Rica who's from Sweden. And my Costa Rica ecstatic dance vlog is up on my channel if you haven't checked it out. It is very long. It is very long. But you know, work your way through it as you go through life. Who knows? But it's fun. A lot of talking about autistic struggles in that vlog. Yes, we're so happy for you. We're happy to support you. Yeah, that's what this community is for. Supporting each other, hyping each other up. Thank you for sharing your success so we can all be excited for you. Yeah, and with the gaming streams, I don't know. I was thinking we're gonna try some stuff out, but I was thinking I might just like play it fast and loose, see how it shakes out. And just like day of decide to stream and just go for it. Because I think it might be kind of hard to in advance pick an evening. Mainly because of the whole autism vibe that I'm dealing with. Because sometimes I have a hard day and then the evening rolls around and I'm like, I just can't do it. So we'll see. We'll try some stuff out. But I'll keep you guys updated on the evening gaming streams. Leah, yeah, I'm so scared to do something wrong. I think too much, I guess. I relate. I relate to you. I'm an overthinker. It can be good, but can't be bad. It's a, you know, it's a gift and a curse. But yeah, what I would say is just go for it. Just go for it. All you have to remember is that as long as your intention is good, as long as your motivation is correct and positive, as long as your intention is, I want to honor this deity in whatever way you're honoring them, then you're not doing anything wrong. As long as you're not doing anything with the explicit intention of bothering the deity or making the deity upset, you're not going to do anything wrong. You know, so just dip your toe in the deity waters and see what happens, you know? Nothing bad will happen, I promise. I promise. But I feel you. It can be hard to get started. Especially when you're an overthinker, like us. We love to think. Yeah, Chris, that's like so exactly true. So many people have OCD and autism. So many people have autism, have OCD. So many people have OCD, don't know they have autism, you know, so they're really connected. They're very similar. A lot of overlapping things. Of course, autism is a much greater term that talks about a lot more in terms of how the brain works. But yeah, they're very strongly connected. Very strongly connected. Which is good to know. Yeah, a lot of people, and this happened to me, you know, I was diagnosed with OCD when I was 18, but I've had it since I was a kid. Like my first OCD experience, like my first time doing a compulsion or having an intrusive thought, at least that I can remember, could have been sooner than this, but I was 11. So got diagnosed at 18, and then, yeah, didn't get diagnosed with autism until I was 26. 25? 25. I was 25. Yeah, 25. The passage of time. But yeah, so a lot of people know they have OCD, but they don't know that they also have autism. Or sometimes people get misdiagnosed with OCD when it's actually autism. But yeah, so that is a thing. The genes are connected. Yeah, we're happy to help. Yeah, and if you ever want to share, you know, like what the first thing you're going to do is, and you want to get clarification that that's a good thing to do, a good way to start, we're happy to give you clarity on that. But go for it. We're supporting you. We've got about 13 minutes left of office hours, Q&A, chat time. So any questions that you want to ask, any topics you want to discuss, pop those in the chat now. Now is the time. And once we hit an hour on the stream, we'll take a little break, do our little BRB, and then we will get started on our open work hours. Yeah, Chris, I feel you. Yeah, OCD is like, there's been times in my life where OCD kept me from doing the most basic of functions. Seriously, I talk a lot about it in my OCD video where I tell my whole OCD story, which I should probably make an updated video about that, because after that is when I got diagnosed with autism. But yeah, OCD can be really debilitating, but I'm happy to hear, Chris, that your path can help you to cope and deal with that, because my path is the same way for me. I don't know what OCPD is. Feel free to share what that is, Janine, in the chat. Yeah, I've never heard of that. OCPD. Praying to Freya. Yeah, fun. Yeah, that'll be our next deity spotlight is Freya. Freya's another deity that I started to come to know a little bit from a student. I don't work with Freya, but I've come to learn a lot more about her through a student of mine who does work with her. So she's come through a couple times to thank me as well, just like Odin did. About 10 more minutes. Interesting. Yeah, I wonder, I looked up what OCPD is. And it's interesting. You know, we're living in a time right now where our mental health knowledge is really behind, in my opinion. I think most people would agree. Like, it's my opinion, but I also don't really think it's an opinion. Like, I feel like we could prove it with evidence. But I think we can really see this with autism, and yeah, it's the concept of OCPD to me is a little questionable to me, because when I look it up, it says OCPD is obsessive compulsive personality disorder. OCPD is ruled by perfectionism and detail. People with OCPD are not self-aware and can hurt the people around them. Like that, like, I don't know. These definitions really are just, ugh. I just hate these definitions of these different mental health things, because they just boil it down to such simple terms, and it's not simple. But yeah, that's interesting. I've never heard of that before. I just think there's so many things that are diagnoses that might be a part of something else, or might be a completely separate thing or a completely different thing. It's just all a mess. It's like how I was diagnosed with OCD but never diagnosed with autism, and I have both. If anything, I have more autism than OCD. But I don't know, it's hard. It's also hard because, you know, when I'm stressed, I have a lot more OCD, and it's just a mess. I just feel like the mental health industry really loves to put labels on everything, and sometimes you just can't label it. Yeah, and it can hurt people's mental health more to put, like, a weird label on it. Yeah, and I feel like these online definitions, or even the DSM definitions, can be way too simple, way too watered down. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, I've never heard of that. I'm surprised I've never heard of that in all my therapy journeys. It doesn't come up. But yeah, Janine, I hope you get to the bottom of what's going on with you, and your obsessing feelings, because I you know, a lot of us here on my channel, including me, we can relate to those feelings and that experience. So I hope you find support and the answers that you're looking for. Okay, guys, 8 minutes left. So we're getting close to final call for questions and topics. Yeah, Chris, I think it's always good when a therapist has that mindset. I've seen a lot of different kinds of therapists in a lot of different situations and iterations over the years. And I think the therapists who have that mindset, like you just said in the chat, Chris, where they have the awareness of these diagnoses are more like umbrella terms for what is going on for you. They're not saying this is you, this is what's going on for you. It's just like okay, let's get a handle on this. This is kind of what's going on. Here's an umbrella term to describe it. So those are always the best therapists, the ones that treat the diagnoses not as like an end-all be-all, but just as a resource to help us figure out what's going on and treat it and deal with it and cope with it. Yeah. Yeah, think we have a lot of catching up to do in the world of mental health. Yeah, because even I was talking the other day, I can't remember with who. We might have also talked about this on my channel at some point, but yeah, OCD is so different from person to person. It's like autism. Everybody's OCD is specific to them. Everybody's got their own little things going on in their mind that they feel like they need to focus on and follow. But yeah, like I was thinking the other day about how I never would have been diagnosed as autistic as a child, just because of how the mental health industry viewed autism. And even still today, a lot of people, most people, look at me and they don't think autistic. They'll have a conversation with me and then they'll find out I'm autistic and they'll do that thing. I don't know if anyone's seen that TikTok. I think it's an autistic comedian on TikTok, but they're like, I'll have a conversation with somebody and I'll be like, I'm autistic. And they'll be like, oh my God, I never would have guessed that. I never would have thought you were autistic. But then they also will point out like a weird thing about you or a strange thing about you or something about you that bothers them. And then it's like, yeah, it's because I'm autistic. It's just so silly. But yeah, so the mental health is always changing. The way we view mental health is always changing. And for the better, hopefully for the better. Final 5 minutes. 5 more minutes of office hours. Then we'll take a BRB, take a little break, and we'll come back and we'll do our working. We'll get to work. I'm going to be working on the baking video that's going up soon. Yeah, no, literally, what is the joke? It was like, oh, I'll have to find it and show it on stream sometime. But, yeah, I think I saw it on TikTok. Yeah, because I've also had, you know, like so many experiences where somebody will see me do something weird because of autism/OCD, because I still don't know where the line is for me personally. Like one thing that I'm thinking about specifically right now is with lighters, like little lighters. You know how there's like a label on the back of the lighter, like a barcode? That has to be down for me. Like I can't have, like if the barcode's facing up, I have to flip it over. I don't know why, I just do. I just have to flip it over. If I see that it's not the way I want it to be, like if I see that it's barcode up, even if it's across the room and I'm in the middle of something else, I have to stop what I'm doing and go over and flip it over so it's not barcode up. I just have to. And I remember one time somebody saw me do that. Like we were in the middle of a conversation and I just saw out of the corner of my eye that the lighter on the table between us was barcode up. So I just, without even thinking, just reached out and flipped it. And we continued our conversation. And the person that I was talking to saw me flip it. And they went, you just had to flip that over. And I was like, yeah. I couldn't hear any of the words you were saying to me because all I could think about was how the barcode was looking at me on the lighter and I needed it to be flipped over so I could finally focus on the conversation again. But then people will turn around and be like, oh my God, I never would have thought you were autistic. It's like, yeah, because you have an understanding of autism that is incorrect. But yeah. Yeah, Chris, it's hard to know. It's all really just like up in the air at this point. We don't know where the line is. We don't know where the line is between autism and other things. We really don't. And you know, as a community, neurodivergent people as a community, we generally accept self-diagnoses, mainly because it's so hard to get a diagnosis, and it's so expensive to get a diagnosis. So a lot of the time, and a lot of people are diagnosing people based off of an outdated criteria. So for that reason, we as a community, neurodivergent people, we are very accepting of people self-diagnosing themselves. So you don't even really need to get evaluated. If you started to feel like you're autistic, or you feel like your experience of the world is leading that direction, you wouldn't need to necessarily have a doctor tell you to be able to have that label. Yeah, it's true, Chris. People who don't know what it's like in our heads, they just don't get it. But that's fine. We don't get them. So we're all in the same boat of not understanding why the other behaves the way they do. This is our last minute. So if anybody has any last minute questions they want to pop in the chat, now's the time. Last little comments and questions before we take our break. Yeah, I understand absolutely nothing about neurotypical people. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, Chris, no, thank you. I'm glad you're here so we could talk about it. I love to have other people who understand the experience of OCD to talk to. So it's really cool. Because like you said, people who don't have that experience, they don't get it. Which, of course, how could they? How could they? Like I said, we don't understand them. So why would they understand us? But yeah, so I'm happy to talk about it. Thanks for bringing it up. Ooh, you did a magical spray yesterday. Fun, Leah. Oh, I can't wait to hear how it turns out. If you want to share what you put in it, I'd love to know. Or even what the intention was for it. Like, what do you want to use it for? But yeah, that's fun. That's exciting. I love a good magical spray. I'm gonna do it this ecstatic dance as well on Friday, but the last ecstatic dance we did, I brought the space I'm renting. You're not allowed to burn anything, so no open flames, no incense, nothing like that. You're not allowed to burn anything at all. So I've had to get creative on how to cleanse the space, how to make the space smell nice and feel nice and inviting to people. So I brought all my sprays that I had created, and they were a big hit. They were a huge hit. Everybody loved them so much. Everybody was spraying them on themselves before and after. I had one dancer come in to the dance about 10 minutes late, and I wandered over because I saw them come in because we dance in the candlelight, so it's really dark. And so I saw him wander in, so I went over, scanned his ticket, gave him the rundown, here's the bathroom, here's the blah, 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 if you need anything, let me know, have fun. And he goes, the first thing he says to me after hello is, "It smells so good in here." So the sprays worked. The sprays are good. Just as good as burning something, if not better, because you don't have to burn anything. Protection and self-love. Yeah, it's time to love yourself. Hell yeah. Love that. That's going to be great. I can't wait to hear how it turns out when you get to use it for the first time in a month. Let us know how it is. Okay, guys, we're at about an hour and 2 minutes into the stream. So we're going to wrap up open office hours, chatting. We're going to take a 3 5-minute break, stretch your legs, get a glass of water, make a new tea, go to the bathroom, collect anything that you need for our open study hall work hours, and then we'll come back and we'll get to work. So I'm going to take a little BRB. Thanks everybody for popping in and chatting, and I'll be back in about 3 to 5 minutes. study, read a book, craft. The possibilities are endless. Whatever you want to work on and get done. Even, we've had people come into the stream, pack a suitcase, do some cooking, do some cleaning, and let the stream support you, help you be productive. Well, we also be productive. So, yep, that's a little intro for this part of the stream, and I'm going to get to work. And feel free to continue to chat with each other in the chat, and feel free to ask questions or anything like that, bring anything up, and when I take a break from working, I will catch up on any chat that I missed. So yeah, let's get to work. Scared me. It said boom. Rumble, rumble, scary. Sorry, had to share. Okay, everyone, so I think I'm gonna wrap up the stream there for today. Like I said, these streams are gonna get longer and longer. Full disclosure, today I'm wrapping it up a little early because I feel myself getting my period. And the pain is distracting and I am having trouble focusing on my work. But thank you to everybody who popped in, everybody who chatted during office hours, and everybody who stuck around for the study hall and the open work time. I hope you all enjoyed this, and it looks like our new stream settings fixed the problem, so we didn't crash, so hopefully we never crash again, ever. Yeah, so that's good. I'm glad the new stream settings seem to be working. And yeah, I'll see you guys next Wednesday for our next spiritual study hall. I'll keep you guys updated on evening streams, gaming streams. If I plan one, I will let you guys know immediately when it will be and what we'll be doing and what to expect. Yes, Leah, thank you. Always good to see you in the chat. And I will see you guys next Wednesday. This baking video will be going up soon. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Yeah, thank you again. And remember, you can hit that join button to become a member of my channel. And remember to like this stream to support ongoing future streams. And I hope to see you all next week at the next Spiritual Study Hall.